This is Good Evening San Diego.
Well, California has created a new state government body to assist workers in the fast food industry. And Governor Gavin Newsom signing a new law creating the Fast Food Council today. The group will be made up of 10 industry members. They will all be helping decide minimum standards for pay, hours, and working conditions. The new standards will apply to large restaurant chains and those with more than 100 locations. The restaurant industry warns that it could increase prices, with a McDonald's executive calling the move, quote, lopsided, hypocritical, and ill-conceived.
And this new law could raise minimum wage to $22 an hour at these fast food places. So with me now, we've got employment attorney Annie Ellis with her opinions on this move. So Logan kind of, laid this out here. Labor advocates saying, hey, this is a good thing, obviously. But then on the other side of the aisle, people are saying this is going to raise prices. What are the other concerns with this?
I've got a lot of concerns. And I think in a vacuum, protecting minimum wage workers is a great idea in theory. But is this the right way to do it? To have a 10-member cabal of unelected officials that can do things that can drastically impact small business owners. So from my perspective, this was not the right way to do it. We've never seen a bill like this in California. This is sector-driven bargaining. It's in essence the government blessing unionization, because the workers couldn't accomplish that without the government giving them sort of a handout. And so this is going to see a lot of overregulation and a lot of lawsuits, in my opinion, going forward.
Well, let's dive into, because I know Logan laid it out, but so this is fast food places with more than 100 locations nationally, right?
Right.
Is that correct? Okay.
So that means if you have one location in California but 99 elsewhere, you're covered, or vice versa.
But not just one owner, just the actual franchise, correct?
And that's why I keep going back to the small business owners, because sure, McDonald's is a big company and a lot of people think, sure, they can afford it, but most of McDonald's are small franchises, small business owners. You might own a few, you might own 5 or 10 or 50 if you're doing really well, but most of these are not owned by corporate McDonald's or similar type brands. So this is really going to hit the bottom line of mom and pop shops.
And I think, I don't want to speak for anyone else, but at least for me, you kind of hear about the bill and without researching, you think, oh, well, what's the big deal? McDonald's is making a lot of money. Wendy's is making a lot of money. But it's what you're saying, a lot of these franchises are individually owned, and it is genuinely a family-owned business or a small-owned business.
Plus the fact that these are unelected officials, and going back to that 10-member makeup, so they're going to need 6 votes to make any sort of meaningful change, whether it's minimum wage or working schedule or what else. And it's designed to be a 5-5 split. It's supposed to be 5 advocate or 5 employee-based positions and then 5 employer-based positions. But when you actually dig down and look at it, it's really a 4-6, 4 for business owners and 6 for employee advocates. So I think this is sort of a facade with respect to trying to give business owners a seat at the table.
Is it valid to ask, to discuss the types of people that are seeking employment at these fast food restaurants? Is it usually younger kids that maybe shouldn't be making $22 an hour? I don't know, I'm asking.
I mean, I think there's a lot of part-time, seasonal, intermittent workers, students, or, high school or college or whatnot. There are certainly some folks that are using this for full-time work to provide for their families. And of course, we want to afford them the protections, but for the most part, no. These are going to be the type of people that are looking for, supplemental hours with respect to another job or school or childcare or something to that effect.
So what is your opinion on how this should be handled? What, in an ideal world, in order to advocate for these workers?
In an ideal world, Jenny, I want deregulation. I don't think that having more laws necessarily means better protection. I think there should be a seat at the table for everyone, and we should have more fairness, but having unelected officials do that is not the way to go. California is the most worker protective state in the nation. Why can't we use the laws that are already in place by our elected officials in order to protect these workers?
Is there something that I didn't ask you that you wanted to say regarding this?
I think, again, I just want to go back to, in theory, in a vacuum, this is great because we do want to protect workers. And I think this industry, not just fast food, but restaurants, have been hit so hard in the last couple of years. But was this the right way to do it? I mean, this law was being promulgated before the pandemic was even, on the horizon. So I think that there's a better solution here.
Okay. Annie Ellis, employment attorney, we appreciate your insight on this.
Thanks, Jenny.